Hello friends, welcome back to Creators Call Shop here on YouTube. My name is Marcy and I am so thrilled that you are joining me here today. So today I'm going to try to do something that's a little bit different from my normal video, and that is I'm going to try to do a tutorial for you. Now that's not the kind of thing I usually do because frankly I stink at it and I can't teach anyone anything to save my life. So I was watching a video the other day and it sparked an idea for me and really kind of helped solve a problem. So today I'm going to attempt to do this task and bring you all along with me, and it could be an abysmal failure or it could be a smashing success, and we won't know until we're done. So before we get started, go ahead and get yourself a drink, get yourself comfortable, pull up a footstool, grab your cat or dog and cuddle with them, or your kid, and we'll get started in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. So what I am wanting to do today is do kind of a spin-off on those faux handmade paper tutorials. I don't know if any of you caught those, probably a lot of you did, but I just saw one last week. I saw the first one last week because I don't know what I was doing, but I missed they were making their rounds in December and January. And the one that I saw was done by Diane on Shawcraft 1. And in her video, she references Natasha at Treasure Books. And so those are both great resources as far as learning the tutorial part of it and the actual technique. I will link both of those down below, those two videos, so down in the description box for you. And Natasha, on her videos, will give you a checklist of what you need to remember and kind of a step-by-step, and she pauses the camera. It's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So before I got on to film, I thought I would practice this technique and see if I could even do it at all in the first place. And what you do is you take lots of papers and dried flowers and things, little bits and pieces, tea bag, and things that are kind of lightweight and that can stick to the paper really well. And then after you've got all that down, you cover it with a napkin, and it's not the top layer of the napkin, it's the second layer or the second imprint layer of the napkin. And usually it has a lighter image on it, and then you just decoupage that over the top. Okay, so I went ahead and did a few examples before I got here on camera, and this is my first one, and as I show these to you, you're going to be able to see that there was definite improvement, I think. But this was the first one I did, and it has kind of these globby white bits because I ripped the napkin a lot and kept putting more layers over it. And it's okay. It's not great. And then I stuck little bits and pieces of the top layer of a napkin just kind of here and there. Anyway, it's okay. I'm glad you got to get step one out of the way before you can get to step two. This was my second try, and this was actually done on parchment paper. I think I have this upside down. Not parchment paper, typewriter paper, like the really old-fashioned... Sorry, I'm laughing. Old-fashioned. Okay, this is our parchment paper. We're not that old-fashioned. But this is typewriter paper. The really lightweight stuff. And I mean, we did our resumes and things on this, my husband and I, so we still had some left over, so I thought I would try it. And actually it turned out pretty nicely. And on that one, I did the second imprint of this napkin right here. It's a really pretty napkin. So you can kind of see the pinks through here and some of that pattern. See? So I like that one. That one turned out really nicely. And then you have the back for writing or whatever. This one and this one were both done with coffee dyed cardstock that I had pre-trimmed it for a 5-ring binder style journal, and then I didn't use these pages. So I thought, well, if I go ahead and decorate one side, then they're already done, because I'm going to be doing gardening style journals in the future. Hopefully not too long future. So this is the final one I did, and honestly, I think it is my favorite. It turned out really well. And the napkin that I used for that, unfortunately, you really can't tell the imprint very well. It didn't really show through, but it looks like this. But it still gives that layer of transparency over the top. And then I took little pieces off of that pink napkin and just kind of stuck them down here and here and here. I just threw some color on there. The other thing I used on these was some tea bag, and it was a hibiscus rose tea, and what I was wanting was this pink color to come through. And actually what it did, I'm going to show you, it actually, once it got all wet with the Mod Podge and stuff, it turned this really dark purple color. Now I also saved the tea leaves from those bags and used them on here, but they didn't turn any kind of color. So that's a really long intro. I apologize. Good gravy. That was a 7-minute intro. Holy schmoly. Okay, so all of that is leading up to the object that I actually wanted to try, and this is solving a problem that I didn't know what to do with. But this beautiful picture right here, I will take it out of the plastic for you. This is a dried flower picture that my husband's aunt made a long time ago. She went through a phase where she made these lovely dried flower pictures, and I had this one in a frame, and I was just really getting kind of sad about how to preserve it. And I think what will happen is that this technique here with the faux paper may just be the solution to my problem. So this is the frame that it was in. I don't know what to do with those. There we go. This is the frame it was in, and as you can see, she made this picture for her cousin, Chloe, and it was made by Aunt Mabel, and then she had put it in this frame, and this was, I picked up the frame yesterday and saw the inscription on the back. Flowers are the sunshine of God's love, and she made it December of '92 as a gift for Chloe. So very special gifts for very special people. And then, of course, it came back to Mabel once Aunt Chloe passed away. They were technically cousins, but my mother-in-law and her sister Mabel were raised with their cousins like siblings, and so they called cousins aunt and uncle because they were very much like brothers and sisters. So what I'm going to try to do today is try that same technique with adding the tea leaves and the little bits and pieces, and then laying that napkin layer over the top. So let me grab my Mod Podge. I'm going to shake it up really quick. And like I said, I am not very good at doing things like tutorials and teaching and explaining. So, well, you get what you get, but hopefully we can all learn a little something together. So the first thing you have to do is lay down your layer of Mod Podge on the bottom, on the base layer. Now, since mine already has these flowers, I am going to be very, very careful while I do this. And I'm sorry for my hands getting in the way. I got to grab my Mod Podge. And the one that I am using, even though it says Mod Podge on the bottle, I tried the Elmer's glue and water. So 3 parts glue to 1 part water. And that's what I used on these 3 examples I just showed you, and that worked really well. So this paper is kind of a textured, like typing paper. And so we're just going to go very carefully and try to go over these flowers very gingerly. And if they want to pop up, we'll just put some glue under them and pop them back down. Now the trick with this is actually you kind of have to work really fast because the glue dries. And so we may just have to work in sections. I don't know. But luckily, it's an experiment. It's a grand experiment. Yes. And Anyway, I really hope it turns out because I wanted to preserve this picture, but oh no, look at that. The ink on the calligraphy is it's gonna get bad on me. Oh no. Well, you know, there is something else we could try. Oh dear. Oh, Mabel, I'm sorry. Okay, let's see if I can mop that up. She did her beautiful calligraphy, and I don't know calligraphy, so it's not going to look as great if I try to touch it up. Now my other thought was to do a spray. Okay, calligraphy or Mod Podge is not going to work. Sad, 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 sad. I'll tell you what, let's start from the top down. While we're at it, let's just sprinkle some tea leaves. Make some lemons out of lemonade. Maybe, I don't really want to go over the ink then, obviously. I didn't even think about that. So I'm going to just sprinkle some of these hibiscus rose tea leaves on here. Give it some texture. And some of these little bits and pieces of the weed. Whatever flower that was that she put there. And I think maybe my best course of action then is to get a spray adhesive. So let me see. Hold on just a minute. Let me go see what I've got. And hopefully we don't make a real big mess. So what I've got here is some Elmer's Craft Bond adhesive, spray adhesive. Yeah. So I'm going to shake it up. We're going to give it a spritz. We're going to go for it. Again, hoping for the best. But what I do need to do is get out some more waxed paper and cover up my important things that I don't want to mess up. And while I'm shaking that, I'll tell you the next part of the process. So this is the napkin that I have that I want to try to use the second layer of it to put over the top. Sorry, it's loud. I apologize. So the second layer looks like this. See, so there's enough pattern on it, I think. And then maybe we can go over it with the Mod Podge to seal it. Boy, now I don't know, because it will still go through and make the lettering wet. All right. Oh boy. Okay, I haven't covered that. Oh boy. See, I told you. Is it going to be a rousing success or an abysmal failure? Jury's still out. Don't know yet how it's going to be. But it looks kind of pretty though. The other things that you add to it are bits of cheesecloth. Bits of cheesecloth and threads and all kinds of things. I don't know at what point the video shut off. I guess I'll find out. I could have been talking to air all this time. I'm going to show you some of the things I did use. And that is this. This is cheesecloth that I've coffee dyed. And then I tore up bits of doily, little tea dyed doily. And then I used little bits of paper, like music paper, teeny tiny lined paper, just plain brown paper, writing paper that had been dyed. And then I took all kinds of colors of threads, which I just forgot to put on here. But this one has so much going on it. I think the threads would distract. But I have pink and brown and aqua and dark green, gold, navy, raspberry color. So I did lights and darks. I don't think I did any cream or anything like that. And I cut these up into little tiny sections. Can you see that? Yeah, like that. I cut those up into little bits. It was easier for me to sprinkle around. And then the tea bags where you save the tea bag. So I have the brown tea and then I have this pink. So I was hoping that the tea leaves would leave kind of a pink color on the paper, and I don't know that they're going to do that or not. All right, so that's our grand experiment for now, and I'll have to let it dry and come back to you with this. And then, so I don't know where it cut off, but the Mod Podge was not working because it was going to smear the ink of the calligraphy of Aunt Mabel's calligraphy, and I'm trying to preserve this lovely dried flower arrangement. So I went ahead and sprayed it with the Craft Bond adhesive spray first, and then I laid down the napkin, and then I sprayed it again, and it's laying pretty flat. So there you go. That's it. So we will decide once it's all dry if this was a raging, rousing success or an abysmal failure. I think it's going to probably be somewhere in between. But my goal was to save her art. Those flowers are so dry and they're starting to fall off, and so then maybe I can use this in a journal as well. All right, so I don't have anything inspirational right at the moment because I'm a little frazzled. So I'll come back and close out this video after it's dry. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, everybody, we're back to wrap up this video. I want to get this done because it's getting late and I'm getting sleepy, and I want to splice the video together, but this is how it turned out so far. It's almost dry, and I have to say it's not exactly what I had envisioned in my mind, but part of it I think is because of the napkin that I used. You can see the imprint, which is the point, but it's really darker than I had hoped. I should have probably used that one on this one that I did that didn't have any. I probably should have done it on this one, and then done the one that was more clear on Mabel's artwork here. But you know, as it continues to dry, it may actually continue to clear up. I have to say the spray adhesive seems to work just as well. It's not as thick as the Mod Podge. I did go back and Mod Podge over just a few little spots where it looked like it was bubbling. And then I don't know if you can see, but it has some discolorations here. And they stand out to me. I mean, I guess that could look like part of the handmade paper process, but that's actually, there's another one here. That's actually where I put the Mod Podge on and sprinkled the tea leaves. And then when I went over it with the spray adhesive, it discolored it. It doesn't look like that at the top though, and I don't know if it's because it's just getting lost with the butterfly pattern and all that. I don't know. Anyway, it does have some bubbling in a few spots, and like I said, it's not quite what I was hoping for, but it's not awful. It actually looks better through the camera than it looks like to me. So yeah, anyway, you know, we were in it, do or die, try it together, see how it turned out. I wouldn't say it was a complete failure, but I would not say it was the smashing success that I was hoping for, and it doesn't match the vision in my mind. So I would, however, definitely try this technique again. So I'll just line this up with the other ones that I had. This was my last and probably my most favorite of my previous attempts. This was my very first one, and it definitely looks blobby and gloppy, although it has a certain rustic charm, I guess. What's the word I want? You know, when things are primitive, that's the word, primitive charm. And then this one, which was done on the typing paper. So those are, you know, I will definitely use them. I think they'll add something, and maybe this very first one that I did can be turned into tags. Although, since I already have the page cut out, I kind of hate to destroy a page I've already cut out, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Let me give you your encouraging word for the day. And that is, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. No, that's not really it, but seems very appropriate for this. No, what I was going to piggyback off of was Mabel's phrase here on the back of this. Flowers are the sunshine of God's love. I think that's sweet. I don't know who she's quoting there. She didn't say. Flowers are the sunshine of God's love. And since we're playing with dried flowers and everything, I have another Helen Steiner Rice here for you today. Nothing on earth is forever yours, only the love of the Lord endures. Everything in life is passing, and whatever we possess cannot endure forever, but ends in nothingness. For there are no safety boxes nor vaults that can contain the possessions we collected and desire to retain. So all that man acquires, be it power, fame, or jewels, is but limited and earthly, only treasure made for fools. For only in God's kingdom can man find enduring treasure, priceless gifts of love and beauty, more than mortal man can measure. And the riches he accumulates he can keep and part with never, for only in God's kingdom do our treasures last forever. So use the word forever with sanctity and love, for nothing is forever but the love of God above. And our verse for the day is from Jude 21. I like this image here too. It looks like the dried flowers that were on Mabel's art there. Keep yourselves in the love of God, looking for the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ unto eternal life. So here's me trying to preserve a little piece of Mabel, but in the end, nothing on earth is forever. The only things that endure truly are the things that belong to the kingdom of God. So with that, I'm signing off. We'll see you next time. Make sure that you do something creative and be inspired today. Bye-bye.